Boom, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are off and rolling on today's episode. You know that machine that you go that's kind of related to your bank and it kind of gives you some money? You know, you guys can make some extra cash off that. If you didn't, then this episode's for you. Let's get this one on the road. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
Look, a business can give you everything you want in life: prestige, wealth, freedom. It can also take everything away from you. This show is for those who are willing to take that risk. These are the real life stories of entrepreneurs. But before we start, I have one small favor to ask. Please leave a comment. It can be advice, critiques, tips, feedback, or share this with someone because your engagement is the most valuable and most powerful form of social currency. So thank you, and welcome to another episode of Business Bros. All right, on today's episode, we're sitting down with an expert in turning a side hustle into a successful business. Our guest is a former law enforcement officer turned entrepreneur who has built a multi-million-dollar business in the ATM industry. He's a professional speaker and the founder of a digital business and the leader of the largest ATM Facebook group. He's here to share his personal experience, advice, and top skills on generating passive income, optimizing your business strategy, and becoming a successful entrepreneur. So let's give a warm welcome to the show, Mr. Paul Alex. It's a party, man. Welcome to the party.
What's going on, brother? How's everything?
Everything is great, my friend. All right, I got a question for you, dude.
Yes, sir.
Law enforcement. I got a bunch of 17-year-old kids. When we talk about law enforcement, they kind of freak out a little bit because they're just like you saw in that little clip. That's from the movie Project X. So I'm sure they throw a lot of house parties and they're afraid of law enforcement showing up. Why'd you end up leaving law enforcement, getting into this side gig yourself?
Financial freedom, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I think, especially with nowadays the new generation and everything, before it used to be like, well, I want a Benz, I want a mansion, I want the money, I want the jet. By now, I think like true, especially the younger generation, like the 20-year-olds, even the high school kids, they're looking at freedom. It's the freedom to be able to go and travel wherever you want, be your own boss, not having to go to the office, be able to work, wear a t-shirt while you're on a live podcast in front of, probably hundreds of people. And then underneath, you're just wearing some shorts, right? And sunny San Diego. At the end of the day, you basically run your own life the way you want it to be. So I think nowadays is just a different type of mindset. The mindset of a true entrepreneur, being a millionaire, being your own boss. At the end of the day, it's freedom. It's not about the material things anymore. It's all about what you do with your time.
It 100% is what you do with your time. Side question.
Yeah.
You still got the uniform, like as like a Halloween costume? Like I always hear chicks dig the uniform. My wife always is like, "Oh, look at that cop. Ooh, look at that firefighter."
I still got the uniform. They allow me to keep it like as like for memories or whatnot. I was with them for 7 years. I worked different types of units or whatnot. But yeah, man, I still got it.
Sweet, dude. Sweet. All right. Before I even get into those 2 combo awards that you got behind you, because I know what those things are, right? Before we even get into that space, if you can explain what business you're in, like if you can simplify it so a 5th grader could understand it, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I come from the 9 to 5 guys. I used to be in law enforcement for the past 7 years. Out of those 7 years, I was a detective. Out of those 5 years. So if you guys ever watched like Narcos on Netflix, I was pretty close to basically doing everything that you see over there with like the DEA and all that jazz, right? So being that I had that type of job and I was working anywhere between 60 to 100-hour work weeks, guys, the average American only works about 40 hours. I was working about double for the last 7 years. So at the end of the day, I've always been a hard worker, being Mexican and Peruvian. Shout out to my mom and all that, because she took care of me. Single mom, raised me with my 2 sisters. And at the end of the day, I owe her everything. But with that being said, I looked into a side hustle the last 2 years just because, man, I was getting older. I was at the age of 29 and I was just like, man, is this what life is all about? I mean, I was making good money. I had a house. I had like I said, the old school mentality of being rich, having a Benz. I was able to take nice vacations. I was able to take care of moms. But at the end of the day, I was a slave to the 9 to 5. I was a slave to going to work. I was a slave to sitting in traffic for 2 hours. So was I really happy? In the surface, I look happy, but like deep down inside, it just didn't fulfill me anymore. So at the end of the day, I looked at different side hustles to go ahead and actually relieve my time, because financial freedom, guys, it's not about like, oh, I make six figures. No, I make 100K. To be honest, guys, it's not about bragging about that. To me, it's being able to work when you want, where you want, and then ultimately financial freedom. I wasn't educated growing up, especially being from a Hispanic family, humble beginnings. Well, I grew up poor, didn't really have much. So at the end of the day, I didn't really have anybody to educate me or whatnot. So financial freedom, what I learned was that you're able to make a lot of money with either little time actually working, or you're making your money work for you. So that's what I was trying to figure out while I was working that high paying six-figure job, because I was already making about $250,000 being a cop. With all the overtime and all that jazz, you can make as much money as you want in law enforcement, being a firefighter, being whatever, a doctor. Doctors, they make 300K, but the only reason why they make 300K is because they're literally working every single day. They only got like one day off. That's what they don't tell you. So that mentality, that's old school mentality. You want to be able to work like 5 hours a week and then make the equivalent of what a doctor makes. That's what you want to do. So I looked
let
into
me ask you real quick. Let me ask you real quick, because what what you're talking about is excuse me, is really important. And I noticed in your background you got a picture of Robert Kiyosaki. Now, I got cash flow in my classroom, and I literally try to encourage my kids to play this, because all the rules that you need to learn are in this one board game. So I want him to hear it from you. If you're working already 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week, you know you can make good money, but you weren't really happy doing it. How important would it be for these kids at 17 to understand the rules of that game?
Yeah, it's extremely important, guys. And the reason why I say this is because you can make all the money you want, and but if you're not actually using it to work for you, like by investing it into assets, you're going to be working the rest of your life. And eventually, you're going to have a family, you're going to get older, you're going to get sick of going to the club, Vegas, all that fun stuff, right? Because trust me, you grow as a person. And if you still think the same right now at the age of 17 or a teenager, and by the time you're 25, 30, there's something wrong. You're not developing yourself. You have to level up every single year in order to get what you want. That's why when you see the people driving those supercars on the freeway, it's not because they come from money. Majority of millionaires, they're actually self-made. There's very small percentage of people that actually come from money that actually get that lifestyle, but they end up blowing it anyways. Especially from this is coming from a person from a 9 to 5. This is coming from a person that didn't have money growing up. So I've been able to get into these circles now, and I see how it really is. The hustlers, the people actually getting it. Those are the people that are actually from humble beginnings, self-made, and they just work hard for everything that they have. So to get back to law enforcement, to transition to the ATM, last 2 years, went online, saw the ATM opportunity, super simple. I mean, you basically buy a small machine, you put some cash in it, you let people borrow your money essentially, and then you charge them a percentage to let them borrow the money. You get that money back from the network that the actual machine is connected to, and it goes back to your bank account every day. So I like to call it infinity banking. At the end of the day, there's no way you can lose. It's a very low risk investment for anyone from a 9 to 5 or anyone trying to build an additional source of passive income.
All right. So you start a little side hustle doing some ATM machines, and you see when people start that, I think they fall prey to obviously the basic problems at first, right? Where am I going to put this thing? How do I know I'm going to fill the machine? Which type of machine do I buy? And then the ultimate question is, I can do one or two. How do I actually scale this so that it generates me good revenue?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great questions. So the first thing I would tell anybody to do, I mean, it sounds cliche, right, guys? Because I mean, your mentors, your teachers, even your parents, and probably your older brother and sister, they're going to tell you, read your book, right? Well, I was never big on books, guys, but I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I have a book behind me, because it was that one book that I read that actually changed the way I viewed money. It's the way I've actually viewed my finances. And it's super important because this is coming from somebody that works a 9 to 5 all his life, took me 3 years to even get into law enforcement, because at the age of like 21 to 25, all I could think about was like, oh, I want to go out, the girls, I just want to have fun and all that. And that's all great. Trust me, you got to have fun with life. But at the end of the day, you got to be responsible as well. So you got to be able to actually focus on your priorities. And if I was to do it all over again, if I was at your guys' age at 17, I mean, I was straight up. Trust me, there ain't no big difference between 20, 30, and 40. I'm telling you that right now. Okay. There is no big difference. The only difference is the decisions that you make between the age of 18 to 30 is going to determine how much fun you actually have in your 30s and 40s. Because if you blow all of your 20s, okay, and just having fun, going parties, not focusing on what you need to do to build financial freedom, then you're going to struggle by actually going to that 9 to 5 in your 30s and 40s and 50s, and then being like, damn, I'm getting tired, or man, I have a family now, I don't know what to do. But to go back to your questions about the ATM, and I feel like we could talk like hours about this, is that with the ATM, you guys want to go and actually invest into some books. It's going to be the most cost effective and easiest way to do it. Or I know a lot of people like watching videos now, especially online. I wasn't online back then. I'm from the MySpace era, when you had your little song on your profile. So, so I would recommend going on YouTube. You guys can just type in ATMs, ATM business. You can even type my name up, Paul Alex, guys. I got tons of videos. I've been on a ton of podcasts. I've been even on a podcast called Fresh and Fit out of Miami. They got like 1 million+ subs. And I talked everything. Like a more detailed oriented breakdown about transitioning from 9 to 5 to ATMs as well, if you guys like that. But at the end of the day, guys, you gotta learn before you earn. And that's what I learned the hard way in my late 20s, because the thing is, I wasn't self-educating myself to level up. I was like, you know what? I'm making good money. I just need to put more hours in. And then I get to the point where I am physically, mentally, and spiritually breaking down, guys, at 60 to 100 hour work weeks. So you got to really think about it. How can you make more money, but with less time, right? So another thing that you guys want to look for is, if you guys are looking for actual life advice, listen to the key players that are actually in the industry that you guys want to go to. So that's one thing that I did. And that was a pivotal move that I did when I got into the ATM industry, is I actually hired a mentor. I paid him thousands of dollars. I was like, I want to learn everything you did in order to become successful just like you. What that did, it actually expedited my method of actually growing in this business. It helped me scale. And not only that, but what a lot of entrepreneurs say now, it got me in that room. And you guys need to get in that room to meet the right people. It's like access. It's a cheat code to life, guys. Mentorships, courses, programs. It's not the fact that you're just simply buying a set of videos. Don't go into that mindset like that, because that's what most people think it is. No, it's you're buying access to that person. You're buying access to talk to them. And if you could talk to them, show them that you have the value, show them that you want it. Trust me, you're going to network. You're going to build that relationship. You're going to make friends that have those 7, 8, 9 figures. And guess what? You're going to be around the 4 or 5 people around you that you hang around the most. Guess what you're going to be eventually. Okay.
You're going to end up doing the same thing income wise.
Same thing income wise, guys. And think about it like this. When I think about high school, back in high school, I was kicking it with around a bunch of kids that weren't motivated. Okay. My circle, I'm talking about my circle, they just wanted to hang out, probably smoke weed, cut class, do all this bad stuff that you guys don't need to be doing. Right. So at the end of the day, guess what I was doing? It's the same thing. That was my group, but it didn't get me anywhere faster, right? It just showed me like, damn, like this does nothing for me, and you're just wasting time, guys. So go around the people that you actually want to learn from. Do what you have to do. Get a second job. Work that overtime. Save up. And then go ahead and invest in what you really want to do, because the transitioning time from high school, going to college, and then up to your 30s, that's the time to build. You have the most energy. You have less responsibilities. I mean, like I said, guys, if I was to do it all over again, I'd stay with my parents as long as possible. And I moved out when I was 21, guys. Bought my first condo at 21 because I was just like, I gotta go, right? But
A hard sell right there, Paul. Like, oh, you got to stay home with your parents a little bit longer. These guys are trying to get out. Hey, let me ask you. You about scaling. You got the 2 Comma Club right behind you, right? So
Yes, sir.
in my classroom, my students are literally learning to build funnels on Go High Level. So they're going to take your
cool.
episode and they're going to
Cool,
clip
cool,
a bunch of stuff and create promotional landing pages for clients, just like you, people who come on the show, right?
Nice.
So, you have 2 Comma Club behind you. Can you explain to these guys why the skill of building a good funnel or building good landing pages is so valuable to a business?
Yeah, guys. So building a funnel for your ideal avatar is one of the biggest needle movers in digital marketing. Okay. And this is coming from somebody that wasn't in digital marketing for I started digital marketing actually April 2020. Okay. I wasn't online since MySpace. So that's almost 7 years ago. Okay. So think about it like this. If I could come in to the actual internet, all right, where everything was brand new. I didn't have an Instagram for 7 years. I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't have none of that. Okay. So I remember even going on a date, guys. You guys are going to laugh at me, right? But I remember going on a date and the girl that I was dating, she was like, hey, what's your IG? And I was like, what's that? And she's like, your Instagram. And I'm like, I don't have one of those. And she's like, you're weird. She's like, how don't you have an Instagram? And I was just like, well, I mean, like, based on what I do, I was working narcos. So I don't know if that's the safest thing for me, but she's like, I don't know. I don't know if you're like a serial killer or something, because it's so normal. It's so ingrained to us to go and switch IGs now instead of phone numbers. I'm still old school, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So to go back to the funnels, okay? The funnels is a key aspect of any business because it's basically where it's like a first impression, right? And you always hear like, hey, don't judge a book by its cover. But realistically, guys, a lot of people are judging your business by your actual funnel. That's why your funnel is the number one hook that you guys need to perfect when it comes to actually building a business. Okay. Even if it's a simple one pager where you guys provide like a free lead magnet or some type of free resource to get people to use your actual funnel, it's super important. One of the key aspects that I could say helped me tremendously with building funnels or whatnot is 1, self-education. 2, I invested in several different mentors that I wanted to mirror their success. Okay. And then 3, I kept it simple. What I learned in digital marketing is that we always try to overcomplicate things just because as serial entrepreneurs being in the digital marketing space, there's always a new trend. In the last 2 years that I've been in digital marketing, I've seen so many different trends. I've seen different offers now. It is insane. By the same marketers, same people. Think about it like this right now, guys. What's the hottest topic? Chat GPT, right? How many courses are you seeing right now getting sold for Chat GPT? Hey, build your funnel with AI. Hey, run your ads with AI. Everything AI. And so it's like you got to really think about that, okay? So with ATMs in itself, all right, and this goes into how I grew my business to a multi-million-dollar business online as well. Okay. Besides it being a tangible business, is the fact that I saw a void in the market. And the void was that 1, aspiring entrepreneurs didn't have the time to go find their own locations or actually properly educate themselves in the industry. So what I did was I took the success that I had from building the actual ATM tangible business while I was working 60 to 100-hour work weeks as a detective. And then I took all that knowledge and I built my funnel to my Facebook group. That's it, guys. I was able to transition my ideal avatar, okay, from running paid ads from organic, shooting them the link. And in that funnel, you could put like a lead guide that you guys create on your own. With me, I'm a big writer, okay? Being from law enforcement, I had to write hundreds of reports. So I'm able to articulate my words properly. With that being said, I wrote out my entire story. If right now you guys are building your funnels, if right now you're a digital marketer watching this, okay, one thing that I'm going to give you a value for your business, I recommend to write out a guide, okay, like an ebook. But the guide needs to be about you, because at the end of the day, digital marketing is about influencers. Okay, as funny as that sounds, because I was like, influencers get paid. Nowadays, they do, guys. In 2023, it's huge. You look at any of the big markets, okay? Great example, Kardashians, right? They've built an empire, multi-billion-dollar empire, because the entire families are influencers. So they are influencing their audience to buy their products, offers, and services. And they don't even know it. The audience doesn't even know it, but they are. Same thing with any other market you see. One of the biggest, gymwear right now is Gymshark, which was built by a young kid, just like the audience that's watching right now, right?
Yes,
Built
sir.
it, was able to grow within 2 to 3 years. How was he able to do that? By having influencers influence the market as well, by wearing his gym apparel. Okay. So same thing with ATM Together, guys. How are we able to scale this in the digital marketing world, especially having the founder and CEO not having any type of background as far as in the digital marketing world? 2 years ago, I barely knew anything. I barely knew how to make an IG profile, guys. But now I was able to build a multi-million-dollar online business off of it. And it's just
So let me ask you about your customer avatar here, because you kind of mentioned it, and it's absolutely important for building your funnel, for building your business.
Yes.
So for you, for the people who you're targeting for ATM Together, who is this ideal avatar? Like Camila asked the best right here, right? So who's your ideal client, and what problems are they facing? Who are you targeting so that they can have access to you, your skill set, your knowledge base, and your business model?
Absolutely. Great question. So my avatar, it is either 9-to-5ers that want to create an additional source of income, or aspiring entrepreneurs that need that one-on-one assistance. One thing that I found out about digital marketing, and especially now after investing about a little bit over $250,000 in just self-education, guys, we're talking about courses, programs, mentors. It's money well spent. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. I would never regret self-educating myself in anything. And what I could tell you guys is that the lack of customer service and the lack of the personal touch is what's missing in digital marketing right now. So if you guys are able to go above the bar of your competitors and actually be able to create an infrastructure where you're able to have that personal touch with either your employees, VAs, virtual assistants, or anyone else on your team to actually communicate one-on-one with your clients, you're going to win all day. That's what's missing in the market. That's when I stepped in beginning of January of 2021, and I saw, hey, there's no personal touch with the ATM industry online. It's a very old school and boring business where there's a lot of old school mentality entrepreneurs in it that don't even want to deal with the online space. So all I did was I shined a new light in digital marketing and mixed it almost like a hybrid with a boring business. And I'm doing the same thing coming up at the end of this month with, it's called Merchant Services. And that's not to get off topic, but that's a completely separate company. But it has to do with credit card machines. It has to do with these credit card machines, guys. So now, same business concept, okay? Simpler, faster, easier. I'm taking it to their credit card world, which now this is going to be estimated to be 10 times bigger than ATM Together. And ATM Together just crossed over the 8-figure in revenue mark in a little bit over 2 years. So it's going to be remarkable, guys. You guys can definitely change the market as long as you're able to actually look at it, analyze it, and see what people actually need. Provide that need, but simplify it. Simplify it so you're able to scale it as big as you want. That's what we were able to do.
Simplification, that's always sounds easier than it actually is, right? It takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of focus. So if people go to your website, atmtogether.com, they reach out to you, whether email or on social, because now you actually do have an IG, right? And there it is right there at the bottom of the screen. But if they do reach out, what's the process like when they work with you? What can somebody expect to get there?
Yeah, absolutely. So reach out, guys. What we'll do is we'll set you up with our actual team. I have a bunch of young entrepreneurs, just like the crowd right now. Like we're talking about, I had our youngest guy was like 20 years old. Now he's 22, but he started out when he was 20 years old with me. And I remember he was hungry. He didn't know sales. He didn't know anything. But I saw something special inside of him. And like I always say, guys, your network is your net worth, right? So the fact that he just simply reached out to me and he was just like, hey, if you ever have an opportunity, just keep me in mind. I took that to heart, guys. You know, you'll find a lot of entrepreneurs that come from humble beginnings, and that's how it works. It's just closed mouths don't get fed. So make sure you guys reach out if you guys see an opportunity. But that same consultant now is making $40,000 a month just doing digital sales, guys, from literally his bedroom. So it's insane. But the way it will work for a client is you would come and actually speak to one of my consultants. I have about 5 of them. They're great. I have a COO. I got a little bit over 25 employees now. So you have an entire team to basically cater to you. And you'll go on a consultation. We'll go into basically like a discovery call where you'll go ahead and we'll actually talk to you. We'll show you a nice presentation. We'll make sure that you understand what is required from you, what you're going to get from us. And then ultimately, we give you an entire package, which is called our intro package. The entire package includes your actual ATM. Yes, the 200-pound machine includes an ATM that's shipped to your house. With that, we also train you one-on-one. So one of our technicians will actually help you program it. They're going to show you how to install it, all that jazz, one-on-one. And then we have a location finder system. So we have call centers that cover all of the United States. They're responsible for literally over 1,600 locations found in the United States. So we cover all the US right now. And we just started doing Canada as well. So we'll find the location for you. We'll negotiate everything. And then we'll provide you with all the details, the contact information, so you're able to talk to the owner. And if you like the location and you think it's a good fit for you, depending on where you live in the city, then we'll give you all of the legal documents that you need to sign as well. And you'll go ahead, you'll have your location, you'll have a setup date. Basically, it is done with you. It's a remarkable program. A lot of people love it. We get a ton of referrals, and it's simple. I kept it simple the entire time, and we break it down, guys. We give you a checklist, absolutely everything that you need in order to start your first business. And then after that, you're a client for life. So that means you get exclusive pricing on machines, additional locations. And then we also moved into the crypto ATM space as well. That's a brand new offer that we just launched about 2.5 months ago. And right now, that is the gold rush. Right now, it's the gold rush. And I know people are scared about crypto. But here's the good thing about this is that with crypto ATMs, the advantage that they have over exchanges online is the fact that exchanges hold your money for weeks sometimes. And that's the liability that you guys face when you guys go and buy crypto online. With crypto ATMs, it's instant. So you are putting cash, actual physical, tangible cash inside of the crypto ATM, and you're buying the crypto right there and then. You're getting the receipt and you're in and out within a minute. Imagine if your family, friends, or associates live in another country. The United States is actually one of the last countries to have these crypto ATMs. So right now, there are literally thousands upon thousands of crypto ATMs everywhere in the world. And this is faster than Western Union and MoneyGram, guys. I had to use Western Union to go and transfer money as a kid to my grandma. It would take sometimes 2 to 3 weeks for it to get to Peru. Now with crypto ATMs, I'm able to deposit the money. Let's say I want to send grandma $300. I put in the crypto ATM. As long as there's a crypto ATM in Peru, she's able to instantly get that cash right there and then. You don't have to have your family waiting. And the great thing about owning those crypto ATMs as well is you get 10% off of the revenue. So it doesn't matter if crypto's up and down. You're making money regardless. And our company is the first company to actually have it completely automated, meaning that we have our armored service vehicles load up the machine with the crypto, with the cash. We have our techs install it for you. So it's completely hands off, guys. It's a remarkable offer.
A business in a box, like handheld, that's like the way to go. I absolutely love that stuff. Last two questions. One, if somebody does want to get involved, what kind of capital investment are they looking at? And then lastly, because I know we've said it over and over again, but if people want to get involved, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So first question, finances. Okay. Now, if you're looking into cash ATMs, you're going to need a minimum of 10 grand. And the reason why I say 10 grand, okay, it's not the simple fact that the machine's going to cost 10 grand. No, it's the overall infrastructure of the business. Okay. So you actually need the cash to put inside the ATM, and it has to be recurring. So let's say you have a busy location. Well, if you only put $2,000 to $3,000 inside of that cash ATM, that means you're probably going to have to go and reload it yourself 2 to 3 times a month, right? But if you put a little bit more, let's say like 5-6 grand in there, and you let it run, then you're probably only going to go there once a month, guys, and it'll get transferred to your back, including with your surcharge profits, and you just reload it. It's infinity banking. It's remarkable. Okay. Crypto ATM, you're looking at a $25,000 investment, and that's overall because it's 100% passive. We're talking about, guys, if you're here in California and you want a machine in Florida or any other state, we got you. We got the infrastructure to do that. Plus, the big thing with crypto ATMs is the actual federal regulations behind crypto, because the government has to regulate that for money laundering and all that jazz, right? So it literally cost my company $1 million just for the paperwork. That's why you don't see a lot of companies, you don't see a lot of those machines out there because it's very expensive to actually run. So the fact that we're actually able to facilitate that for you, it's like, it's a no-brainer. Like when I saw the opportunity, I was like, yeah, we got to do this. It's a little bit of investment, but as an entrepreneur, guys, that's why it's entrepreneurship. You are taking a higher risk than actually just working that 9 to 5, but then you also reap the rewards. Okay. That's just the way it is, guys. So you have to make sure to do your due diligence and calculate your risk. That's all it is. Now, if you guys want to find me, the best way to actually get a hold of me, okay, IG, straight up. Shoot me a DM. I'll answer back eventually. It's Paul Alex Espinoza. I only have one IG, guys. Okay. I'm trying to get verified. It's extremely difficult. PR agencies working on that, but there's like literally 20, 30 scams. If it's not spelled like Paul Alex Espinoza, do not add it, guys. I will not sell you anything on WhatsApp. I won't sell you crypto trading. None of that. I'm not going to sell you absolutely anything. I don't sell. Okay. I just speak about my products and my services. And then I have a team that does that, guys. So, and then also, if you guys want to see me live, okay, I do a once a week training, myself and my COO, Gedam Yonis, on the ATM business, on crypto ATMs. And then soon we are launching this new company. It's called Merchant Automation, and that's regarding credit card machine automation as well. But that's probably going to be for another episode, my man. We'll talk about that and educate your folks on that. That's a different business model, which is phenomenal. But you guys can check out the Facebook group. It's called ATM Business for Beginners. We currently have close to 55,000 members, guys. So it's remarkable. Free mini course, free guides, just free education. You know, it's all about helping others. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you this, guys. You know, you ever hear that saying, especially I heard the saying a lot when I was growing up. They're like, money is not everything. Well, one thing I could tell you, if the person already has built wealth, or if the person has became rich from humble beginnings, okay, and then they say that, cool, take their word for it. But if it's someone telling you that, hey, money's not everything, and they haven't gotten to that level of actually being financially free, more than likely it's BS. I'm going to keep it real, guys, okay? So make sure to carefully pick who you get advice from, Okay. Because if you want to get advice from someone who's actually doing it, executing, having the discipline day in, day out to actually fulfill their dreams, to make it happen, to be able to donate $100,000 to charity. Okay. Just donated it this past Christmas to starving kids here in San Diego, guys. It's about giving back. Trust me. That's what fulfills me. That's what keeps me going, is being able to actually inspire all the youngsters out there. Okay. Because trust me, I was in the same shoes as you guys not too long ago. My 20s was a blur. I had fun, but like I said, I'd give all my money back if I could go back to where you guys are at right now, 17, 18, and I knew what I knew now. Trust me, I'd probably be over there sitting having dinner with Elon Musk or something like that. So
that's what I'm talking about. Paul, thanks for coming on the show. And that charity, I'm sure it's Angela's charity, right?
Yes, Angela.
So big shout out to her. I forgot the name of the charity. Something for kids, right?
It's all about the kids.
All about the kids.
All
There
about
you
the
go. There you
kids.
go. All about the kids. So it's all about the kids. She has a great foundation. We've gone out and done some food drives with her as well. So if anybody's interested in helping that out, that's a great organization too. Paul, thank you very much for coming on the program today, man. A ton of great information. Thank you for sharing. We really appreciate you coming on the show. Ladies and gents, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. And we're out.
It's over. Go home.
Is your business in need of marketing? Try starting a podcast, but not just any podcast. Podcast like a pro. We can show you how to take your business from being invisible to becoming a brand people trust. Go to www.businessbros.biz